Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I would like to call our special board meeting to order at 10:30. We're located in the Village of Broadview Municipal Building, 2350 South 25th Avenue. Ms. Jackson, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor Thompson,
Here.
Mayor Rebo,
Here.
Administrator Jones. Here. Mr. Scalise,
Here.
Manager Krumstott. Here. Trustee Marzano is absent.
We have a new trustee that joined the board. Westchester appointed Terrence Jones to be on the Board of Directors.
Okay, duly noted.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Next on the agenda is public comment. Next, no public comment. I didn't get a public comment. Did you, Mayor Rebo?
No.
Superintendent Barber? Okay, thank you. Presentation of the minutes, April 1st, 2026. I'm going to ask for a motion to table.
I make a motion to table the minutes to next board meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Also, next on the agenda is the monthly financial report for March 2026. I'm going to ask for a motion to table that as well.
Motion for a table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is new business. We have none. Under old business, we need to adjourn this meeting and go into a public hearing for the budget discussion.
So moved.
You can recess it.
Re-
Recess and continue to.
A motion to recess?
A motion to recess.
It's a motion to
and
recess.
Go to the continued public hearing.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we are in the continuation of our public hearing for the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget and appropriation, May 1st, 2026 through April 30th, 2027. Ms. Jackson, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor Thompson,
Yes,
Mayor
here.
Rebo,
Here.
Administrator Jones.
Here.
Mr. Scalise,
Here.
Manager Krumstott.
Here.
That's it.
Thank you. So this is so our public hearing notice was put in our local newspaper for the presentation of the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget and appropriation, the superintendent and the treasurer. So you all want to talk about the fiscal budget?
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Morning.
morning.
So there was a draft budget that I believe everyone has had a chance to review. Are there any questions before or anywhere you want me to focus on the discussion on, or?
I don't have any. We can just jump right into the budget.
Okay. Starting with the operating side, or with the revenue side, I'm sorry. We projected no increase in the current year in the water rate, so we based revenues off the current usage, the trends that we've seen from all of the members. Tried to just do best trends there, so the revenue side is very much in line with where it is in the current year. Still left the $3 million debt issuance in there under the assumption that that is still going to move forward and probably will happen in the next fiscal year. On the expense side, we took into account everything that was in the current 5-year capital improvement plan. So all of the 27 projects are budgeted in there in full. The assumptions with the head count were for a superintendent, 3 full-time water operators, and then an administrative assistant. We had some increases in there for insurance for not only projected rate increases, but head counts. Most of the other operating expenses are just based on trends of what we see, of what we have seen and what we expect to keep seeing. There was a vehicle in there at the request of the superintendent. Is there anything, Leslie, you want to expand on?
I have a question.
Yes.
As it relates to the water rate increase. Every year, we anticipate an increase because of the Chicago. And I'm curious to know if anybody reached out to the agency at Chicago, are they anticipating an increase? Because if you look at the trends have been consistent with increases every single year. And for us not to consider that in the budget, that's concerning to me, because we know it's coming, because it's usually June 1st.
I apologize, I miscommunicated. On the expense side of us purchasing water from the city of Chicago, we did see that they're gonna have a 1.85%
Okay,
rate
thank you.
increase on their end.
Okay,
What I was trying to communicate was that we weren't projecting increasing the water rates to our members that we bill. We were gonna absorb the 1.85% in the current year.
so then if we're gonna observe, if we're gonna take in the cost of the 1.8% from Chicago, where does that leave us for infrastructure projects that may come up that we still are responsible for? Because if we continue to not pass it on to our water users, the increases, then we get behind, and then it starts showing in a deficit at some point. And I believe last year, we observed the cost of the increase for last year. And as you know, the cost is rising in everything that we do. All the services are increasing, and it's beyond our control.
My understanding was that the water rate was increased to the members last year. Yes. That is correct? And I can't say I know what that percentage was. I believe it matched what the city of Chicago increased to us.
Yeah, and typically, if we've done an increase, it's whatever the city, we pass it back on to the users because they're increasing us,
Correct.
and we just can't afford that.
Yeah, really our thought process this year was it was a relatively nominal increase at sub 2%. So after running the numbers and kind of looking at where we're at with the 5-year, the agency with the reserves and with the proposed debt issuance coming, it still felt as if it could have been absorbed this year without any kind of concern.
But I
as to-
understand that, but the employees want salary raises, right? And what did we increase for salary increases?
We had a proposed, I believe it was 3%.
3%, so CPI is 2.9%. So if cost is increasing for us in all areas, I don't understand how we project the increases coming from somewhere else. Who pays for all the increases for services? Our contracts are going up. I'm sure Hancock Engineering got some increases in expectations on the role that they play at the agency. Make that make sense to me, because if everything is increasing, how do we stabilize something that's increasing? And the only way we create revenue is through our water service. It's not through property taxes. We don't sell a good. The only thing we sell is the commodity, which is water.
Correct. I mean, we can certainly make the adjustment and make the decision to pass it on to the members. That's just not how this current draft budget was put together.
Okay, I understand. I just had questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Continue on.
Okay, so for the line item 76650 for board development, did you want to leave that at that, the $4,000?
For the education for the board, it should just remain the same.
Okay. Then line item 89700 for the vehicle replacement, that is for the 2012 Dodge Caravan. I want to trade that in on another transit van for the agency.
Okay,
That's what that line item is for.
okay.
Because we did, yeah, I mean, do you have any, let me let the board know this. We got to make an adjustment for line item 65200 for chlorine. that price is gonna go up. So instead of $4,000, I'm gonna budget in there for, change that from $4,000 to $6,000 for the purchase of chlorine.
Did chlorine go up?
Yes. And those are, the only question that I had was for the board development, the explanation of the vehicle request, and the chlorine increase.
Okay, well, I'm okay with the budget except what I just identified with the increases of the water. Mayor Rebo?
And I appreciate what Mayor Thompson brought forward, and I just did a little calculation here, just based on the financial projection of both last year and this year. It shows about $107,000 more. Were the number of gallons, because there's no underlying information, I'm assuming you use the same numeric, so that 100,000 doesn't come from less usage, this comes from, or I should say more usage, it comes from the 1.85% generally?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, based on the trend of the amount of gallons that they've used in the current and prior years.
Any other questions from the board regarding the budget?
Not a question, but just maybe a comment. If we're also adjusting that 4,000 line item to 6,000, maybe just to show a little bit difference in the revenue. If you look at the interest income, and I'm sorry I didn't bring this up earlier, but we're budgeting again 100,000. Maybe we should increase that maybe to like 120 or 125,000, because the history shows it's over 100,000. This way we can show at least some change.
Yeah, we absolutely can.
Can you talk into the mic, because we're streaming and they can't, thank you.
Yes, we absolutely can. We probably do have some wiggle room in the interest income. I think we still want to err on the side of being conservative so that we don't get reliant on that.
And that's why I'm saying maybe another 20,000 or something, just because 142, 305, that was an outlier, but 145, and then this year budget 161, and it's projected at 193. But I believe if we're just doing a 2,000 increase, if we offset that with a revenue just a little bit, it might
That
look
makes
a little
sense.
bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can do that.
Any other questions or discussion regarding the budget, Ms. Jones? Mr. Scalise?
No.
Okay.
There's just a point of clarification then, Mayor, would you like to see us attempt to place the 1.8% increase as a whole onto the
Yes.
member communities? Okay, I just wanted to clarify that from my
Yes.
note, and I would agree to that as well. Certainly, my reason for that, just as a matter of reference, after we get done with some of these projects, we can always look back and see that the projects are complete, but we certainly don't know that any of these projects won't require more funding or require more costs.
I
So
agree. Thank you.
that's all I have.
Okay, so next is the discussion of the ordinance authorizing and approving the fiscal year 26-27 budget and appropriation. So in the ordinance, based off the changes that we made, we'll need to update the ordinance to reflect the changes that's made before we approve. I mean, we can approve the budget with the changes that's recommended through this public hearing.
Correct. I would, we can do that today. I have an ordinance for signature.
Okay.
Wesley and Steve can get me the final budget based on board direction to date that I can file with the clerk's office in the next week. And then at your next meeting, I'll bring forward that standard water rate adjustment ordinance. You have a schedule of water rates. We typically approve that ordinance every May in anticipation of the June Chicago rate increase when you're passing along the Chicago rate increase. So that'll be teed up for your next agenda in May. So
Okay.
that can be approved in advance of the Chicago's water rate increase.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, and then if we could do a motion to adjourn the meeting once you, the public hearing, once you, before we take a vote on the number 2, can we, we've got to do a motion to adjourn the public hearing as J, at the bottom of the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the Board of Directors or the Executive Committee as we move forward? Okay, none. Are there any questions and comments made by the public? Going once, going twice, no comment from the public or questions. Again, the last, any questions from the Board of Directors? Okay, a call for a motion to adjourn this public hearing.
Motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now I would like to reconvene our regular board, our special board meeting at 10:46. On the agenda is consideration and approval of the ordinance number 2026-2, an ordinance authorizing and approving the fiscal year 26, fiscal year 27 budget and appropriation for the Broadview Joint Water Agents. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or concerns or comments that came out of the public hearing that we should address during this open meeting?
No, just for clarification, just for anybody who's, there are 3 changes that would be coming. The first one would be the 1.85 increase. Second one would interest income increase. And then regarding chlorine line item, it would be an increase of $2,000.
Okay, so we will, those changes will be made. Ms. Jackson, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Mayor Thompson?
Yes.
Mayor Rebo?
Yes.
Administrator Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Scalise?
Yes.
Manager Comstock?
Yes.
Thank you. On the agenda, we have a superintendent report, but we don't need an update at this meeting. We have no closed meeting, and before we close out our regular board meeting, I do want to acknowledge that today is Administrative Professionals Day. So thank you very much for your service, the men for the Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency, and to our board secretary, Ms. Jackson. Thank you for all the hard work that you all do. Mayor Rebo,
Yes.
is anything you want to add?
No, thank you very much.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.